here we are. We're on. We're here with Cameron Bachelder, who brews his own beer.
Yeah, it's a good hobby.
So this podcast kind of came about. Your wife and me were in the same grade in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Recently, we had our 20th anniversary, and you were there because you were one grade above us. You know a bunch of people.
Yep.
And at some point in the night, we just started talking beer, and you. I'm not going to say you shit on a bunch of local breweries, but you did have opinions.
Sure.
And you make your own, and I have no idea about anything about that. It's always been real interesting to me.
It's witchcraft.
Is it?
It's voodoo. Yeah.
Voodoo?
Yeah.
How often do you brew? Like how much? How often?
So I think
let's crack some of these open and start drinking.
All right. So
what is this one?
It's fresh hop season, and I don't know if I can get this.
Close enough.
It's from Draft, so it's in a little canister here.
Okay.
But
you can pick any glass you want.
It's fresh hop season. So my neighbor has a crazy hop plant in the back of his yard.
Oh, really?
And we're not really sure. I'm pretty sure it's a nugget hop.
Okay.
And nugget is usually used as a bittering hop, but I just there's like no aroma to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just by design, it's just the kind of hop. And so we, when you do fresh hop, it's kind of a crapshoot. You have to put in. You have no idea like what kind of hop you're using. You just dump in a ton.
Okay.
So it's a 10-gallon batch, and I think we put in 4 pounds right at the end of the boil, like the last 5 minutes.
What's like the typical ratio when you know what you have?
I think with like dry, it's like.
Oh, I like that.
It's kind of spicy. It's not like
not
it's flavorful. It's not
yeah,
hoppy.
But it's not super hoppy. It's not bitter, which I hate.
Yeah, it's all about the time when you add your hop. So
okay,
I think with wet hop, it's like 5 or 10 to 1 ratio. Like what you normally would do, you put in 5 times as much or 10 times as much.
Oh wow!
So it takes up a lot of space. So usually when I do a 10-gallon batch, I'll do like 11, 12 gallons at pre-boil, and then it'll reduce down to the 10 gallons.
Mm-hmm.
So when I do these wet hop ones, because you have to have so many hops, you have to increase that size because you're going to lose so much when you take those hops. When we take those hops back out. Yeah. So my typical 10-gallon batch only yielded like 8.
Okay.
Because we added so many freaking hops in it, it's out of control.
Do you grow any of your own?
I do. My crop's not in yet. It's young, so it's I'm doing Chinook, which is more of a dual purpose hop, and so I actually want to use a ton when I do my regular, just everyday brewing. So
Chinook, huh? Was it naturally around here? Do hops grow everywhere?
They're a weed. I mean, they are like this guy. The one. So this is we call it Cousin It. Fresh hop, because his hop plant looks like Cousin It. It's just this bush. And
I've never seen a hop plant. I don't even know.
I'm
the worst at podcasting for beer, knowing nothing about how it's made.
Yeah, usually it's more like a vine. So they'll have like if you go like to Yakima, and you'll see the hop orchard, whatever. With the hop yards, and they have these 20-foot poles with twine going up them.
Okay.
And then this time of year,
so it wraps up it.
Yeah, it kind of grows up it. And it grows like almost as fast as bamboo, like
really?
A foot a day when it's in optimal growing season.
Sure.
So they go bonkers.
Wow.
If you have the right conditions.
Mm-hmm.
And so like my buddy, his is only 3 years old, but it takes up the whole side of his house, and it's like the most optimal southern facing, whatever you're looking for growing those hops. So him and his another neighbor, they sat for like 2 hours picking hops off his plant, and then I got the boil ready, and he came down with his stuff. And
this is good.
Yeah,
you got a name for it? Do you name every batch?
I try to. Yeah.
Okay, what's this?
This is Cousin It.
Cousin It
fresh hop.
I do like this.
Yeah.
It's not super hoppy, but you get a taste of it.
It's very floral.
Yeah, floral is a good word for it, for sure.
Yeah, and that's just the variety of the hop. So I mean, there's I got some other ones here that we can try as we go deeper in. I got a sour. I'm sorry. I got a sour.
Okay. I've been told about sour beers, and I've never had one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then
I've never seen one.
They're everywhere now.
I hear that, but like for now, I really just go to like Fred Meyer's and Safeway until I've exhausted those resources. Then I'm going to start. I was being told about, what is it called? There's this place over by the mall. It's a wine shop, but apparently they have
Total Wine. Yeah.
Total Wine. They have tons of beers.
Yeah.
And I'll be hitting that place up soon.
Yeah.
Also getting new glasses because apparently they got a bunch of pint glasses.
Yeah. IKEA's a great spot to get them too. Nice.
Pint glasses?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have the old
all my dishes
British Imperial style.
All my dishes and knives are from IKEA. So
IKEA,
they're
Swedish, right? Swedish?
Swedish.
Yes.
Swedish.
Meatballs, yeah.
You know, I don't really too much know the difference between Norwegian and Scandinavian, and it's all just huge blonde people.
They're Vikings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of them. Just huge.
They're conquerors.
Crazy people who live in the cold.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Transparent skin. Blonde.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy is that island, man, what's it called? It's north of Sweden. It's a place where they keep all the seeds. No, Iceland would be...
like the fallout shelter place. Is it in Greenland? That's in Greenland.
No.
No?
No, those are both west.
Okay.
This is like straight up above Europe.
Yeah.
Where I assume it's kind of ice-locked most of the year. I would assume. I don't know. But it's so far north. I actually would love to go on a vacation there in the deep summer.
Check the interwebs and see what place this is again.
Yeah, I'll find the name for it real quick. Google Maps, I am on way too much. I'm on it so much that it's got a hot space on my computer. Like, all right, so see, there's Greenland.
Yeah.
There's Iceland.
Yeah. And is this where they have like a seed from every plant?
There you go, right there.
Oh, what the?
Yeah.
I've seen that place before.
It's pretty far north. And it's called Svalbard.
That's Viking.
There are towns there. Yeah, it's permanently cold. They keep all the seeds there from everything just in case stuff goes extinct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heard about
underground. Crazy.
Is that where they filmed How to Train Your Dragon?
I don't think I've seen that one.
That's a cartoon.
Yeah, no, I remember it. Maybe I've seen it. But no, the first one came out like a decade ago, right?
Yeah,
I've seen it. I don't remember it.
Yeah.
I remember that there's the tooth one.
Yeah, well, that's in the first one, Toothless.
Yeah, the black one.
Yeah.
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 Which everyone named their black cat afterwards.
They look like a cat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that being a fun movie. I don't remember a single thing about it. There was a fat dragon. I remember there was a fat one.
Mm-hmm. Had tiny wings.
Yeah.
It's like physics don't work.
No, no.
Yeah.
It's physically impossible.
Yeah. So what kind of beers do you usually go for?
I'm really into German beers.
German beers. Okay.
Oh gosh.
Have you been to 5440 yet in Washington?
They have an amazing Kolsch.
So he's a German brewer.
Is he?
Yeah. So he's Bolt, and he kills it on his German lagers and Marzens and Merz, whatever how you pronounce it.
Whatever.
But yeah, he's killing it on that stuff.
Yeah, I'll have to get in. I've only had the Kolsch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they bottle that. You can get around other places. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're ever out that way, I mean, that's a cool place to go.
Right up here on the corner, the bowling alley, which is my local bar, they have their IPA, which I haven't tried because it's IPA.
Half cocked, yeah. Well, I think I might have an IPA here that you might.
I'll try anything. Yeah. The whole point of this podcast, and I think I've said this every single podcast, is to try new beers.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I'm just gonna drink Oli or whatever.
Sure.
I think last podcast I even had Oli.
Nice.
Finally, someone was like, "Yeah, let's just have some cheap beer." All right.
Is that Rainier over there?
Oh, that's what it was. Rainier and Oli are the same beer.
Rainier's so good.
Yeah.
It's like what's my go-to cheap beer.
You ever had it with orange juice?
Oh, so actually, I listened to this podcast.
A beer mosa. Yeah.
And so there's another style of beer they make. They do called shandies.
Yes.
And
that's usually with lemonade.
Though. Yep. And another style that they do is called a rattler.
Okay.
And that's where it's actually from the brewery. They don't have to pre-mix it. They make it themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a Rattler Fest in Portland sometime in the summertime, and it's all like pre-mixed, whatever their light beer is with lemonade, and they might do like cucumber or
I'd try it,
ginger or something in with it.
I don't like ginger. I would try a ginger beer, but I've seen them around, and I just don't like ginger.
Sure.
So I haven't tried one yet, but
maybe it depends on how strong they put the ginger in, right?
yeah.
So
Well, no, it's just I've always avoided it because I just don't like ginger. But again, that doesn't mean I wouldn't like the beer. You know, like I don't really like grapefruit, but you could.
Is it because the ginger has no soul?
Yeah. That's a good one. That episode of South Park when they turned Cartman into a ginger.
There's so many good ones. They hit in all the sweet spots.
Do you remember when first South Park first came out? Like the very beginning?
No, because I think it was I didn't have cable when it first came out, but I remember all my buddies coming back from college. They're like, "Oh my gosh!"
Well, I remember probably 6 months before it came out, some friends of mine had compact disc burnt on it the short that started it, the Santa Claus versus Jesus, which was a hilarious episode.
The paper cutout.
Oh yeah. I like how when they went to computer, they kind of kept that look still. And I think they do it kind of the same way, just virtual. Like here's the shape, here it goes on top. Yeah. I think, but I don't know. Yeah,
the special that they did where they showed how they make an episode.
6 days to air. I was just going to say that. Oh, I didn't realize Bill Hader was on the writing team.
He's like one of the senior writers for him.
I love Bill Hader.
Yeah, just their comedy is so spot on. They have no idea, right? That they're like, what's current?
Yeah.
What can we make fun of?
iPads.
And what I love about them too is that they don't really. There's nobody safe, right? They don't.
Right. Oh no.
And it's like both sides. If you're left or right or middle or whatever, there's like no. It's open season on all of you.
Well, that's why I think it was Family Guy did an homage that said something like, or did a tribute that was like, "Thank you, South Park, for doing stuff that we can't do." Like, because they did drawings of Muhammad, which
almost got him killed.
Yeah, definitely has gotten plenty of people killed.
Sure.
In history, like Charlie Hebdo and all that, but South Park did it, and Family Guy wouldn't. They're like, big ups, guys. But it's also a different type of station too, where Comedy Central is like, go for it, and it's on cable, and you can do break rules where Family Guy's on Fox, which is free TV, and you have, it's governed by the FCC.
Yeah, and I think also it's the time of the day that they air it too, right? The first broadcast, they can put a little more meat into it.
Yeah, because if you're on cable, they don't do it, but you can cuss whenever you want. Doesn't matter because it's a paid service. Whereas like 268, any of the
broadcast,
it is a free service, so it's under the FCC. I don't know. So it's they're playing by different rules, but I don't think Family Guy would have done it anyway. I don't think they need to.
No. It's I mean, that's what South Park's always done. Yeah. They've always pushed the envelope.
And no one's safe. That's why it's crazy when Chef left. Isaac Hayes. Is because, they did the episode on the Mormons, they did the episode on whatever, but when they did the episode on Scientology, Isaac Hayes, who is a Scientologist, left the show. So then how
did they kill him off again? I forgot about that.
Well, they came back a few episodes after that where Chef was possessed by a cult. Not possessed, but brainwashed by a cult.
And all the old recordings from him.
Yeah.
And they just kind of
pieced it together.
Yeah.
Using his voice because they own the rights to it. But like the fact that like, this is a cult and we're going to do an episode about you being in a cult. It was a directly slap in the face. I don't know. You ever watch any of those documentaries on Scientology?
No, I haven't caught any of them.
It gets crazy.
I know it's like you have to spend so much money to make different levels, right?
Yeah. How crazy is that? And oh my gosh. So then they got tax exempt status, which means they can't turn a profit ever. So all that money they take and they buy property. The Church of Scientology owns so much property. So much property. It's crazy.
It's all Tom Cruise's money.
Oh, dude. That guy, I guess it was either not David Miscavige, that's who runs it now, his dad, or it was Leah Remini. One of them was talking about how Tom Cruise is on a special list where whatever he does, they will make it okay. Like, he can kill someone. and Scientology will do whatever they can. And by the way, not illegal to them, and they'll do whatever they can to cover it up. And then Travolta is on another list where like he can do some crazy stuff. Like they don't follow the same rules. I don't know. It's wacky. Leah Remini did a whole TV show on it where she's talking to, for lack of a better term, survivors of Scientology. Mm-hmm. You know, ex members, but like, you know, people that really went through some shit to get out, and I don't know. Yeah, Scientology.
No, yeah, it's kind of a mystery to me. I haven't really followed it too closely.
I don't know. It's weird. My wife likes to watch documentaries about cults.
See, my go-to documentary is anything about like science or space.
Oh, I love space.
I just fall asleep to that every single night.
Oh yeah.
I'll watch some crazy documentary about, you know, how the where we are in like our existence, right? Is that there's been multiple other stars that have exploded.
Oh yeah.
And to make heavier and heavier
elements,
whatever.
Yeah.
And to get to a certain point where it can create life.
Yeah.
And that's just blows my mind to think about that.
We're all just made of stardust, literally.
Well, yeah, exactly. But just to think that
it had to happen so many times.
And you think about that, if that's the same thing, it is all across the universe. Mm-hmm. Then life is probably as much older than our life.
Yeah.
When we think about it everywhere else in the
I go back and forth on that one because it's like it could very well be that we're the one accident. It could very well be that it's super common and we haven't found it yet. Like everything's on the table. It could be that like they've all come and gone and we're the last. We could be the first. I mean, who knows? I hope we find out sometime in my lifetime.
Oh, sure, for sure.
Dude, if we don't get to Mars before I die, my ghost will go to NASA and just haunt motherfuckers. All I want is to put boots on Mars.
Well, see, that's my question is what's so important about Mars?
It's the closest feasible one.
I understand that point, but I mean, it's going to take so much to live there. You think about
I don't know, and here's why. Check it out. You ever seen the movie Total Recall?
Sure, oh yeah.
Do you remember the end of it where he did the reactors and he melted all the carbon dioxide and
he made it so you can breathe again, yeah.
What's funny is that could happen. All the ice shelves there, carbon dioxide, it could be melted and they would have atmosphere there. Like they accidentally got it right.
Well, the only thing I would say so from all my geeking out at night, is that I think the size of Mars is like half the size of the Earth. And so you need to have that active core of iron to create the magnetic field to keep the atmosphere in.
Right.
And they don't have that.
However, you need that to keep it there for it'll go away in 1 million years as opposed to hundreds of million years. So if we did that, yes, we don't have the magnetic field, but it'll stay for our lifetimes.
But also the magnetic field protects us from all the solar rays too.
Sure,
so
but so will clouds.
No, not to the same not to the same extent.
I'm telling you, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. We'll live in bubbles.
You just have lesions all over us?
No, it'll be fine. We'll have an atmosphere. We'll wear sunblock.
Lots of sunblock.
I don't know. I don't know much about the rays and stuff, but yeah. So what? I got to wear a suit to go outside. I'm on Mars.
Well, hey, if you find the reactor, you don't have to have a suit on, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the dog for a walk in the Martian soil.
So if we got the technology to terraform Mars, then we probably can wrangle asteroids. There's so much iron there. We just need to dig, put it in there, find a way to start it up and get it spinning. Is that too much to ask for?
That's a lot.
That's a lot. That's a lot. But yes, Mars. I think Mars is the place. I think the moon is not.
But a moon base sounds pretty killer, though.
Yeah, but that's going to get destroyed with asteroids real quick. We've seen impacts.
Have we actually seen? Well, we see the remnants of them.
No.
There's no wind
We've seen
up there.
them.
Oh,
we've seen them. We have video evidence of stuff hitting the moon. I think there is some atmosphere to Mars. There's some.
I'm not. I haven't looked at that closely at all.
Yeah. There's because it's there's an atmosphere. I just don't think it's breathable by us. Like
by something.
But there's gases, is what it is. There's gases. There's atmosphere. There is pressure. Know what I mean?
I love pressure.
Mars.
Good times.
But we don't even have to stay. I just want to go. I read this thing I read a headline of a thing the other day that I didn't read the whole thing. That there was I think a Japanese investor and Elon Musk are in a race to put visitors on the moon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
that's a great idea.
SpaceX, right? Is it SpaceX doing it? Or?
Well, it's for sure SpaceX, because that's his outer space company.
Baby, yeah.
Which is cool. I like that. I'm not one of those people that's yay capitalism, yay socialism. I think we need both. But capitalism is a driving force in innovation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that when we have civilians pushing stuff like rockets instead of just the government, I think we go better faster. So I love these SpaceX and all these stuff getting into the game. I think it'll speed up the technology process of getting stuff out there.
Yeah, no, it's exciting to see that. I mean, it's always that drag, I guess, of government sometimes that slows things down because there's no profit, right?
Right.
And profit kind of drives a lot of people. So yeah, you get that, and I mean, I don't even know what it costs now to launch a rocket anymore, man. It's going to come way down. Way down.
Well, the biggest thing was reusing them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's some controversy to that, where back in the 60s or whatever, they were going to try to do that. And the government said, nah, one use each. Why? I don't know. Jobs? I don't know what the reason is.
Well, I think they were trying to design the rockets that they were using was for the missile programs too, for the protection or for whatever. So
yeah,
they were just trying
which
to
makes sense.
Yeah, redundant, right? Yeah. Trying to make it so it's.
Well, I think everything technology based the government does is kind of, yeah, but how can the military use it? Oh, they can use it, then keep going. I think so.
Makes sense.
I don't know. I don't see why it wouldn't be. I don't know, especially stuff like rockets. Yeah, and then I don't want to get into the politics of it, but people were shitting on Trump for talking about the Space Force or whatever. I'm so into it.
Yeah,
I'm good.
I didn't hear, like, what was it like? Is it supposed to be like people in space or just like technology in space?
A new branch of the military that deals with stuff in space. So right now, the Air Force.
NORAD? Is that NORAD that does it right now?
NORAD, I think, is a North American, controls everything. It's a base.
Okay.
But no, right now, the Air Force is the air and up. Mm-hmm. Anything to do with space is still Air Force. And he's saying that now we need a Space Force. Mm-hmm. For whatever reason. I didn't listen to it. I don't care. What I do care about is getting some of that military money and getting into space. I was listening to a podcast with Neil deGrasse Tyson on it. Mm-hmm. He's like, yeah, I proposed that in 2004. This is a good idea. So if Neil deGrasse Tyson likes it, okay, I feel better now that I'm agreeing with Trump about Spaceballs.
Dude, Spaceballs is awesome.
It's a great movie. Yeah, and everyone was posting these memes about Spaceballs. I'm like, don't you understand military budget? It's great. Maybe people don't want to go out in space as much as I do.
Well, I think it's just more people don't want to see money go to something that they don't believe in. If it's military, if it's anything military, like why are we putting money in that?
Yeah, but if the military pushes it, it's like capitalism, as I was saying, pushes innovation. So does the military.
Well, so you think about all the stuff that the military has passed down to us, like GPS. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't even know. There's tons of stuff like Velcro. That's actually, I think it's from NASA.
NASA was Velcro.
Super glue used to be used for bowel wounds. Mm-hmm. They had to glue your skin.
Still
together.
is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. Yeah, there's tons of stuff for sure. I bet you a lot of innovation involving like transport would be a lot military driven too. Rockets in general. Nuclear power, which is, I don't know. I'm so torn on it. With nuclear power is the cleanest power there is, until something happens, and then it's the worst thing, You know, like I think they're still dealing with Fukushima.
Oh, they're gonna deal with that for thousands and thousands of years. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I guess the end goal is fusion, right?
Yeah.
And that's
Clean fusion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was watching
Which is
one of my nerdy shows.
The sun, right? The sun is fusion.
Yeah. Basically making a mini sun.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're trying to get it, but just it requires so much power to get it started.
To start it, right?
Start it, yeah.
Yeah, keep it. From what I hear, keeping it going isn't the problem. It's starting it.
Well, even maintaining it, it's just. I mean, it's mind-boggling how much electricity it takes to do that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's crazy. And if they ever get to that point, then it's it's free energy for everybody. Like you get energy and you get energy.
Yeah.
Oprah of the energy.
Yeah, I love the idea of the Star Trek future where, like, socialism works because no one has to do anything because it's all taken care of. But there's some major hurdles for that to even be in the discussion. One of them is a replicator. Until we can get food to everyone whenever they want it.
From
Star Trek.
Oh, wasn't replicator from?
Oh, well, there were replicators in
Stargate.
Stargate, yes.
Yes.
Yes. Those little creepy bugs.
Yeah.
Stargate was so good. What was your favorite Stargate?
Uh,
I loved Atlantis. I thought I got in a discussion the other day because a buddy who's got.
I like SGU too.
Yeah.
Universe, whatever, Star Trek.
I didn't like it.
Really?
No. I really like Robert Carlyle and Ming Na.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just like the first one. So SG-1 was serious but cheeky.
Mm-hmm.
And then Stargate Atlantis was wacky fun. Jason Momoa was there. But then SGU was too serious.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I don't know. It wasn't fun enough. So I think even SG-1 was fun.
Yeah, I really digged SGU.
I like the concept.
Mm-hmm.
I just think they needed to have at least one or two lighthearted characters. You know, I think that's what it was missing for me.
Well, wasn't the kid was kind of the lighthearted character?
I don't even remember a single thing about that show.
Oh, really?
I just remember that
yeah.
That was my takeaway. Is like, yeah, but like over here we got Marilyn Manson bug vampires, and this is all just political people fighting, arguing.
It did get political.
It was like Battlestar Galactica.
Oh, I love Battlestar.
I like the idea. Did you ever watch Caprica?
I tried to get into it. I couldn't get into
I
it.
loved it.
I couldn't get into it.
Really?
Yeah. I think I watched like 3 episodes and
I love the idea. It's like, oh, we're going to tell you how the AI started.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I don't remember what episode, but they had the reveal that, what's his face? The redheaded guy with the goatee. He's in a bunch of stuff. He was originally going to play Marty McFly. The dad.
Mm-hmm.
What's his name?
Adama guy? Or what are we talking about?
The main guy.
In Caprica or?
Caprica.
Okay, I don't remember that.
Anyway, he was the guy that invented when she found the robots that were the original Cylons from the 70s 80s. We put the line going back and forth across the mouth. No, that was Buck Rogers.
Was that? No, they did the. Well, they did the.
That was Twiggy.
When the line going across,
okay.
Something.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, their face, and that's like where their mouth was. There you go. Was very similar to Kit. The car.
Oh, yeah.
What do you got there? What's this?
This is a sour.
I'll finish my beer there.
Oh, it's getting a little
there
crazy here.
One time, I had an unpasteurized beer. It had no carbonation in it. It was one of my favorite things I ever had.
Yeah, this one shouldn't be foaming like this, so hopefully it's okay.
Looks good.
Botulism's not a bad thing, right?
Yeah, I know. When they said it's unpasteurized, I was like, "Is that legal?" Or
well, they're all pasteurized. Just that once they get in the bottles, that you don't boil it again. So
okay.
So this one is a kettle sour.
All right, let me.
It's not. That's just the art from some other bottle I stole.
Okay.
So
So repurpose the bottle. You got a capper. Mm-hmm. What is it called?
Just a bottle capper, yeah.
Bottle capper. That doesn't sound right.
It's just
a capper.
You just buy little caps and put them on there with this leverage device, whatever. But it's my wheelhouse for beers are IPA, like big flavorful IPAs, like hazies or Northwest style. It just doesn't really matter. I just don't like the really super bitter ones. Then the other ones I like are sours, and there's all kinds of sours. There's the old Belgian sours, lambics. There's kettles. There's probably, I don't even know how many kind of sours there. There's a ton of sours. And then the other kind of like are big stouts. So this is a kettle sour, which is
that smells delicious.
It's a saison is the base beer.
Okay.
And so how you do it?
What does that mean?
It's like a Belgian summer beer.
Okay.
So it's a saison. So usually they would make these in the summertime in their farmhouse, and the yeast that they've used for these are really really tolerant of temperature change. Because they're just hanging out in the farmhouse, so you got during the day it could be 85, 90 degrees, and then at night it goes down to 60, and the yeast love that kind of stuff. So and then to get the sourness.
That's different.
Yeah, do you think? Yeah.
It was it felt like I was eating Pop Rocks for a second. Know what I mean? Like danced on my tongue.
I think it's the carbonation.
Little tart. I like it.
Mm-hmm. So to make a kettle sour, it's kind of if you do regular sours, you kind of poison your fermentation gear with those bacteria that you use in the souring process. And so with a kettle sour is you mash your grains, so you collect all that sugar water from your grains, and then you'll boil it just to pasteurize the bugs off of that. And then you'll put
Gross.
it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just trying to get all those bacteria out there that you don't want to use. There's certain kinds you want to make it sour. And then I've got a little fermentation chamber, so it's an old stand-up freezer. I've got a temperature controller on it, and then I've got this lizard blanket I wrap around my fermenter, and then I've got a temperature probe I put in the side of of my fermenter, so I can dial in whatever temperature.
Sure.
And you throw in Nancy's yogurt. You throw in like a pint of Nancy's yogurt in it, and you keep it at 115 to 120 degrees. Not 120, like 115, 117, whatever. And let it sit for like 2 or 3 days. And it just slowly starts to sour.
Yeah.
And once it's done, you measure the pH with a little test strip. And then once it's to wherever you want, then you do the regular boil, you kill off all those bugs, and then you pitch in as regular ale yeast. And then it just goes from there. So
I was burping off mic.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, this is it's a little overcarbonated, so that's why it's going crazy. But
yeah. So you got this process. You do a bunch of different types of beers, and they're all brewed different.
The method is pretty common amongst all of them, but it's
when and where,
different grains, different yeasts, different hops. The temperatures that you use for when you're doing your mash can dictate how the beer tastes or the mouthfeel. Like you can have like a big stout, sometimes it'd be thicker, more syrupy, and a lot of that is that there's a lot of unfermented sugars that are still in there, and they kind of hang and make it feel more dense. Yeah. And that's when if you want to get that, you mash at a higher temperature, so maybe 155, 158 degrees. Like with someone like this, where it's really dry tasting, it's very thin. You're mashing much lower, so
really? Okay.
150 or 148, and it creates a lot more fermentable sugars, and so that way the yeast just go bonkers. And so this one, it actually is almost the same pH as water, or not pH, gravity as water. So it's the yeast that you use for these saisons are very energetic, and they eat everything. So this is supposed to be only like 6.5% beer.
Yeah.
And because the yeast, I hit a little higher gravity, so a little more sugar than I was supposed to. And then I had the optimal conditions, and so they ate even more than they're supposed to.
Yeah.
It ended up being a 7.6% beer.
Fuck you up style.
Yeah.
What was the first one?
Like 6.3.
Okay.
So it's a wheelhouse of a nice pale, easy IPA kind of taste, or alcohol level.
I had I went over to Widmer one time. A buddy of mine won a contest at his work, and they took us out for dinner, and I was his +1 because he didn't drive. But they were like, all right, you can have any food you want, but you got to pay for your own beer. Sure. Okay. That's an no-brainer. They had this honey something ale, whatever, that was just, it tasted like Gold Looks. And it was real, it wasn't overly sweet, but it was sweet, and it was like 11.4. It was crazy. It was really good.
Was it a mead?
They didn't call it a mead. I don't think. No, I don't know what they called it, but they didn't call it a mead. I don't know. I don't know the difference.
So that's one thing that people sometimes we don't think about is I'm going to go to a Windmere. I'm going to go to Bridgeport or wherever the bigger brewers in the area. If you get the things that are not their distributed beers,
yes,
crazy good. Almost every single time they're amazing.
Oh yeah.
So another area that people don't think about.
But at 11.4 or something or whatever it was, 11 something, they're not going to release that to the general public.
There's some crazy beers out there.
Yeah.
So I went to the Great American Beer Fest in Denver in 2015 with a buddy.
Oh God, and drinking in Denver?
Yeah, Mile High, it hits you hard.
Yeah.
And
my wife went to Denver recently, and she's like, I had one beer, and I got tipsy.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, that's what happens.
You don't expect it.
No, you're not carrying the oxygen.
Yeah. So the first day at the beer fest went fine, and then we had like a day between the two, just choking it down.
I did not like it.
No,
I like the sour.
Yeah.
No, it's that was a face of it hit the
the back
the tart.
Yeah.
The tart part of my tongue.
Yeah.
I do enjoy it. It's like drinking a sweet tart.
It is. But they get way more tart than that.
Oh yeah.
This is like entry level.
I'm thinking I'm good. I like this level because if it goes too tart, I think and I don't know this. I haven't had it. So and I'll try a bunch of them and I'll let you know. But I'm just worried it will taste too much like a candy or something like that. Where it's
no, they can make them super dry tasting and you won't even there's.
I'm sure there's stuff on both ends that I will like and won't like.
Yeah, if you like wine taste, do you enjoy wine?
Oh yeah,
red wines and stuff. So there's a brewery out of Tillamook called DeGards, and they are one of the best sour makers on the West Coast.
Yeah,
they're ridiculous, and all they do is sours. They don't make anything else besides sours. And they take their beers and they age them for 1 to 4 years, and then when they do a release, they'll blend those 1, 2, 3, 4 year beers together, and then add fruit to them, and they'll age them in wine barrels or cognac barrels or whatever, and the flavors are incredible.
Really?
It's just like there's a one called Violet Premier that I got last year, and it comes out every year. It's it's just bright purple. There's a bunch of raspberries they put in it.
Oh, cool!
And it is just super flavorful with different. I think it's like white raspberries, red raspberries, and I don't know. There's other black raspberries too. I don't even know, but there's like 3 different varieties of raspberries they put in this, and it tastes like jam, almost like there's so much fruit in it. It tastes almost like jam. But then you have the aged sour beer that's been in oak barrels for 1 to 4 years.
Yeah.
And, oh my God,
that's nutty.
It's ridiculous. It's incredible.
You were super into it.
Oh,
all right.
I'm such a nerd.
If you won a small lottery, say $2 million take home, you quit your job and you're just going to go full time brewing?
I don't know. I think I'd lose the passion.
Would you?
That's where
when it's to become a job?
Yeah, and it's fun right now because I can make exactly what I want. And maybe if it was a bigger pot, where I didn't have to worry about having to make money from this business.
It's true.
Then I just make the beers that I like, and people just come and drink the beers that I like to drink. So then I would be like, let's do it.
Well, guys at work were talking the other day about, all right, what if you wouldn't let it? There's one dude that talks about it all the time, and we got into it, and I was like, well, my first purchase easily would be a 2018 white with black trim ZL1, which I know I can find within 3 hours of driving. Because I got to have that immediate purchase. Oh, here's $100 million. Guess what? I got a new Camaro. As you can tell, I like Camaros. But like, they were talking about this, that, and I'm like, well, yeah, I'd probably buy a small brewery, like the size of 5440. That'd be perfect. As a little, side project that maybe will earn money. And if it doesn't free beer.
If it's a hobby, it pays for itself. I mean, that's awesome.
I would probably, hire people to do it because first of all, I'm going to be in Europe a lot. So, but it'd be cool to learn to do it, but also have input on what gets made, and then also make some profit off of it.
Yeah, and that's where it's funny. Like the brewer at 5440, like I keep talking to him, like, when are we gonna do a New England hazy IPA?
Mm-hmm.
When are you gonna do a hazy IPA? He's like, never, because he loves his traditional German style beer that he makes.
He doesn't want to branch out.
Exactly, but it's the popular IPA to make right now. It's a very expensive beer to make. Maybe that's one of the reasons why he doesn't want to make it, because it requires so much hops.
Do you go in there often?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, probably like I don't know, once every two weeks or so and hang out.
I need to get down there.
Mm-hmm.
I've been down in that area for work and I've seen the sign, but I've never been in there.
Yeah. Then if you're down there, then you got to go check out Logsden. So that they just moved from Hood River and they're moving all their stuff over into Washougal, where Amnesia used to be.
Amnesia. Okay, yeah.
In downtown Washougal.
Downtown.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they are a sour house, but they do other beers besides. But they're known for their sour.
So what happened
beers.
to Amnesia?
It just didn't cut it.
Didn't work.
Yeah, it didn't work out. So I don't know what he's doing. I think he's brewing in. He was from Portland originally. Like I can't remember which area it was. Anyways, but yeah, he was like the first one to move over from Portland brewers coming over this way, and he didn't adjust to the new styles that people will want. And he had a couple of great beers. Like Copacetic there's also really good. And,
getting the distributing, and there's a lot to it more than just making good beer. Even if you make great beer, there's a lot of other stuff that just because you're good at one,
you know the business too.
Yeah.
But you would think that he had the experience from the prior brewery when he was in Portland, and
that worked out.
Yeah, he was killing it over there.
Oh, okay.
And I think it was
wrong styles.
Well,
the wrong time.
I think the Washougal threw a lot of money at him to come open up a shop in Washougal, and I know that the way that they bill water is backwards in Washougal, where
is it?
Residential pay absorbent amount for your water, and then businesses don't pay nearly as much.
Really?
So it's kind of supplemented from residential. So I don't know. It's they just anyways. It's I'm glad to see that the Logsden is in there now, and they
coming from Hood River.
They are ridiculous. Their sours are award-winning, like nationally award-winning beers.
I'll have to go in there.
And so they have that one, and now you have the Grains of Wrath too in downtown Camas, and he's known for his pilsners. I heard you like those pilsners.
Oh yeah. And
he makes really good IPAs too. But I mean, he does all kinds of stuff as well. Mm-hmm. But
where's that at?
Where the old Lemonade Auto used to be, or La Schwab, in downtown Camas.
Okay.
Yeah. And he's been open for not
just
even a year
right
yet.
over there by U.S. Bank.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, really good.
I got in a car wreck near there recently.
That's not good.
So I had a company van, and I was heading up Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
And as you know, I got the right of way. It's a yellow light. And to the right, there's a guy that come flying up on the stop sign. So I was looking that way. From the other way, and I couldn't see from the hedges, and there's some parked cars. From the other way, this really, really old guy just blew that stoplight and crushed the front end of my company vehicle. That's the first time I've ever had an accident with airbags. So that was an experience. Yeah. So yeah, he just blew both the stop sign and the stop light that are there, and just crushed the front end. The van had 2,507 miles, I think, on it, and he totaled it. Like,
did popcorn come out of the airbag?
I don't know. What is that from?
SNL.
SNL.
Yeah,
Jiffy Pop. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. While you're stuck there, you won't starve.
Yeah. It's so good.
Yeah. Oh, it was crazy. I feel bad for the old guy because he was from out of town and old, and I don't know what he was thinking. He probably wasn't thinking, I'm going to run this red light. Check this out.
There's probably some lady walking the street or something over. He's like,
yeah. Didn't have a cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of stuck there, a couple hours away from home. But yeah, he totally ran a red light.
Oh.
No one got hurt. We were going slow. Chemist police were on the scene real quick and did a good job. So that wasn't bad. But yeah, sorry. that was a tangent. Yeah, I'll have to get down to at least Doomsday. Definitely I'll have to get to all of them. I really will.
There's so many crazy good breweries in the area.
50 for 40. Not Doomsday. I go to buy Doomsday all the time too.
They give me hope.
Yeah.
That I could.
They're expanding, so they're doing something.
That's why
maybe it's all marketing, but
yeah, more power to them.
Yeah.
But just I know if I came to market right now, if I wanted to be a brewer, it would have to be some crazy good beer. I mean, this competition is so hard right now.
Well, just in Kamaswashugal, which is fucking tiny, that's 4 we just named.
Yeah, and then you're so close to Portland, and Vancouver has a lot of really good breweries. I mean, Trapdoor makes stuff. Brothers Cascade around here, by your place here, they make good stuff. There's a ton of competition.
There needs to be an app that tells you where the breweries are.
There is. There's Beer Facebook, Untapped, yeah.
Okay.
Have you ever seen Untapped before?
No.
It's pretty cool. It's
the only time I've seen Untapped is when I was talking about Magic the Gathering.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I still play. It's okay.
Awesome.
Is it though?
Hey, it keeps you out of getting in trouble, and it's good, right?
Yeah, it's a fun game. Dude, I have friends older than me that play. I never played in high school though.
Yeah, I
should have. It's a fun game. I like the
strategy. I played a little
D&D,
but not much.
Oh God, I wish I was still playing. I love D&D. It's fun.
It was fun to be creative and imaginative, and
I got a buddy, Sean, who he plays with his kids now. He's getting his kids into it. That's pretty cool. That's a good fun family thing. Like, all right, we're gonna play some games. And that's one of those like addicting ones that like you can have family time, even after the kids are like, I don't like it. I don't want to be around the family. Yeah, but like it's game night. What's your character doing?
Yeah.
Now
the one that I thought was crazy, I never got into it either. Is it Warhammer?
Yes.
Where you have like the giant maps in your garage. Like it's like 4 sheets of plywood across.
Yeah.
And you've got all your armies mapped out.
And everyone's got a tape measure because you don't move by squares. Everything is just
like if you jiggle a table and things get knocked over, like all over. Hell's breaking loose.
Yeah.
Like people are getting killed.
I never got into that one.
Yeah.
It seems the people who are into it are really into it. It's like I put it right up there with like model trains. People who are into it are really into it, and good for them. Not something.
Is it all like pewter characters and you hand paint?
Some people do, yeah. Or you can pay someone to paint them, which is also weird.
Yeah.
Oh, it's such an expensive game too.
Yeah, I've never even looked. I just remember walking to someone's house and he's like, "Do not touch anything."
He had a game going.
He's like, "It's been going on for weeks with my buddies."
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, because like a 5-6 hour game is not uncommon, but.
Well, apparently it's because it took even longer than this. I don't even know.
But. I like the system they use. They're like, all right, every character, this is how much it's worth, and we're gonna play a game that's 500 points. That's the buy. Oh. So you can buy one creature that costs 500 points, 500 that costs 1 point each, anything in between. So it's like a salary cap. Okay. I like that aspect of the game. So you can come there with your army, and like, all right, here's the game. Here's your salary cap. All right, I got you. I thought that was kind of neat because it's not going to just like in Magic, you got a deck and it's just the same game over and over again. Kind of. Not really, but you know what I mean. Or it can be versatile with Warhammer. Warhammer 40K people were into it too.
Yeah, but my level of that was I did a lot of Warcraft. That was my thing for years.
I spent so much time on that.
So many hours.
Yeah. I played from a few months after launch up until Cataclysm.
I think we're about the same.
I rated heavily.
Oh, no, I did. What's the one with the pandas?
Pandaland. I just call it Pandaland. I don't.
Is that Cataclysm?
Pandera. No, it's the one after.
Okay, so I played through that one.
Okay. Yeah, I played up until Cataclysm quit. Someone talked me to coming back into Pandaland. I played it for a month and I just didn't like it. When they got rid of the spec trees, I was like, no, that's the thing I enjoyed. I used to go to elitist jerks and like do all the math. All right, I need this gym. I need that.
Maximize everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Theory crafting. That was a good game. Did you like the movie?
No, I wasn't a fan of it. No,
Yeah.
it was.
I enjoyed it.
It was. I guess my expectations weren't much.
No.
And maybe because of that, I mean, it was fine. I mean, I wouldn't, it's not something I would watch over and over and over again or anything. So, no, it's good.
I bought it on Blu-ray because I just couldn't see it anywhere else. It was on super sale, and I was like, all right, I guess I'll watch it. And I was like, that was a movie. They could have done better.
Mm-hmm.
Could have done a lot better.
Yeah, it was a fun game though. A lot of hours played. What class did you play?
All of them. I had max level. At some point in time, I had max everything level character of everything except for mage and rogue,
mm-hmm.
which I did have a Twink 39 rogue.
Yeah, level 19 guy.
Yeah, no 39.
Okay, well, I thought 19 was like the one where you got up to. You didn't want to go any higher because you can play against the.
It's every 10 levels.
Okay.
So 19 is cool. 39, you just got to do more, and then once you cross 40, you got to mount. So.
Mm-hmm. Get around a little quicker.
Yeah, so that was like kind of the last spot before you might as well just go all the way.
Yeah,
it was 39. But let's see, my first main was a hunter, and I did like MC with that
Molten
one.
Core, baby,
yeah. And then I switched to a warrior,
mm-hmm.
and I played most of Burning Crusade, maining the warrior, and then. What was after that one? The Ice Crown.
Oh, the
what's it called?
Wrath of the Lich King.
Wrath of the Lich King, and that one I actually had 3 different mains. I started with the Druid.
Mm-hmm.
Boomkin is the best
mm-hmm.
in the whole game. Boomkin was my favorite. But you got to dual spec then, so I got a lot of time in healing on the Druid, which
mm-hmm.
is amazing in raids. Not as a main healer, but like you're healing everyone just a little bit. So fun while healing the main tanks.
Mm-hmm.
And then priest for a while in there.
With Shadow Priest?
I did both,
mm-hmm.
but yeah, Shadow was fun. I didn't like shaman healing, and I didn't like paladin healing at all.
Mm-hmm.
But priest and druid I liked a whole bunch. What else? For a little bit in BC, I raided with a warlock. That was crazy. It was there was a time when you would cast Curse of whatever weak to shadow, and then just drop shadow bolts,
mm-hmm.
and they would get a debuff, which would mean you would crit more and harder, and you were just. That's the only thing you hit. It's like if you were a warlock in that time, you just bound every key to Shadow Bolt, put your face on the keyboard, and just roll back and forth, and you would lead all the DPS charts.
Yeah.
What was your main? What did you like?
I was a hunter for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I think through like the first 3 expansions, and then when Lich King came out, I started working on my Death Knight.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I had a Death Knight too.
And then rolled the Death Knight as DPS for a long time, and then became one of the co-main tanks.
Mm-hmm.
And then started playing around with the healer paladin.
Mm-hmm.
And I think those are the 3 that I got to like the max level. Then I goofed around some other ones, but those are the ones I put time in on. But
yeah, when Cataclysm came out, we had this guild that disbanded, and we all kind of got together talking. All right, because they went to 10-man raids, and we're like, all right, we're gonna put the band back together. And I was a warrior tank, and the other tank was a druid, so we would have no conflicts in gear, right? So I was the warrior. We were working through the first, dungeon a whole bunch, and then Death Knights got battle res. I'm like, okay, guys, I'm switching now.
Yeah.
And I geared up pretty fast again because I was the only one picking up tank gear at plate. But it was like, wait, we have 2 battle reses, both of our tanks. So if one of us goes down, the other one could just pop them. Yeah, well, let's do this.
Yeah.
I dropped a meme the other day on Facebook. I don't know if you saw it, but it was the WoW cover.
I missed that one.
But it was Owen Wilson. Wow. Wow. I was really happy about that one.
Yeah, Warcraft.
I got some magic cards right there.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, Warcraft, man, a lot of fun. I almost got back in this last expansion, but I'm like, I'm not gonna have fun. I'm never gonna reach what I used to have. You know, it's like chasing the dragon.
Well, everything's been toned down. It used to be, it took so much time and investment to get to that certain level and get your gear optimized, and then they made everything so easy.
Yeah,
anybody can do whatever max level they want and optimize everything.
And you can change your specs on the fly. Yeah, they just dumbed it down too much.
Yeah.
But not only that, is a lot of my enjoyment came from playing with people that I was playing for 2-3 years. I actually met a live-in girlfriend on WoW. Swear to God. Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, I mean, I made friends with the guys back east. He works for Amazon now, and so when he comes into Portland, we meet up and grab beers and stuff.
Isn't that crazy?
It's cool. I mean, but that's the thing where it's great. You have these, you spend a lot of time with them.
You do. You get their personalities. You become legitimate friends with someone you've never seen face to face.
Sure. Yeah, and then you know about what's going on with their family, or maybe what they're into besides the game. And, I don't know. And then you start getting, you actually get their real names, and you're calling them out on chat or whatever with their real name.
I have multiple Facebook friends right now that I met playing WoW.
Yeah. I've got guys in Texas, and I've got British Columbia, Saudi Arabia, and then a bunch in the East Coast. But yeah, they're all. We don't talk anymore, but it's you see things pop up from time to time on the old timeline, and hey, it's cool. What's up?
Yeah. On the other side of the coin is whilst playing WoW is when I got fat.
Yeah.
Yep. It started off with EverQuest 2 for a few months, and then I jumped ship over to WoW, and I just started gaining weight.
Yeah. You're sitting. I mean, go back to South Park. I mean, that's like one of the world's best South Park episodes was "Make Love Not Warcraft," and just as they're trying to beat the guy that
which I don't know if you ever saw the BlizzCon where the guy cosplayed as that.
No, I missed that.
Oh, it was amazing. I'll pull it up here, but yeah, I think WoW nailed it. I mean, they were wrong about killing pigs for 80 levels, but
it was so good though.
Yeah, for sure. I just sat all the time, and a lot of that, for a good portion there, I was unemployed, so it wasn't just like my downtime. It was, turn in a bunch of applications and then go play WoW for a while, and drink Mountain Dew.
Yeah, mine was PBR. Like I remember, so it was before kids, and then it was into when the kids were here. And I remember when Dane was a baby, like playing WoW and then rocking him with my foot, while he's sleeping beside me. It was awesome.
There's a picture of that guy.
Dude, it's awesome.
Anyone can find it. Just look up WoW guy cosplay. There's videos of it, and he does all the poses. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's perfect.
Does he have the splint on his hand too?
Yeah. Isn't that's so good? Shaves his head to be bald.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's one of the best.
Yeah. But no, that was I remember like some of my friends were getting pissed too. They'd be like, "Hey man, what are you doing?" I'm like,
"I got a raid tonight.
I got a raid. People are depending on me. I've got 24 other people in this raid.
Yep.
And I'm like one of the top people. If DPS can come and go, but I'm like, tank. I got to be there."
Yeah. It's funny because it's true. You do feel an obligation because it is other people blocking out their time.
Yeah.
I've always been like a sucker for that. Like, I've made people mad because I wouldn't cancel plans, girlfriends, parents, whatever. But I'm like, and I'm not talking about WoW at this point, but just any plans where people are counting on me. Mm-hmm. Like, they're going to do a thing, and if I'm out there, they can't do the thing.
Yeah.
So I've always felt that obligation, and I scheduled my life around WoW raids. Mm-hmm. Did you, how often did you raid? I was on a 2-night-a-week guild.
We were...
maybe 3 on one of my guilds.
We were a progression. We weren't trying to be like, world beaters, but we were trying to be like server firsts.
Oh, okay.
So we were, 3-4 nights a week.
Yeah, that's the best.
Just pushing, and it was cool. I mean, it was.
You played Alliance, didn't you?
No, I was a Horde guy.
Okay.
Yeah, the whole time.
Good.
I never got into the Alliance side, but it's. Yeah, we it was a huge time sink. It was.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
But it was really weird because it gave you this false sense of accomplishment.
Yeah.
Like, you did the thing, which counts for nothing at all, but you did the thing.
Yeah.
Oh, they really tapped into that. Like people enjoy accomplishing something, even if it's just these little quests, or I got this item, or even farming. I made these potions.
Well, now it's like my kids, right? I've got a 12 and 10-year-old boys, and they're crazy into Fortnite or whatever it is, right? And they're always like, I want to get this new cape or this new glider or skin or whatever it is. And I'm like, does it help your character get any better in game? And he's like, no. And I'm like, well,
what's the point?
What? I mean, if it makes you better, then that's cool. But if it's just like to show off, I'm like, when I start thinking back now, I'm like, wait a second, that was me in the Warcraft.
That stuff helped your character in game for sure.
Yeah.
I was the kind of guy that would show up with extra flasks for people.
Oh yeah, hand them out. Yeah.
Yeah. My druid that I made for a while was a flasked. What do you call it? Specific flasked.
Oh, is it not transmuter?
Transmuter was the other one, and potions were the other one. Mine was a flask. Elixir.
Yeah, because you can get like a
specialization, I guess.
Every once in a while, get like a bonus, right?
Yes.
When you make it.
Dude, when it first came out, you would get about 150% because you would like ding X5s, X2, and then they nerfed it, and it was like every 10th one you might get an X2.
Did they make wells or something where you put out a well and everyone can grab a flask off of that? Or no, I'm thinking of someone else.
That's a soul stone or a health stone.
Yeah, that the warlocks put out, right?
Yeah, and then mages were able to put out food, which was
conjure food.
Amazing. I would have them do it like at the starter raid. I would take the full 80, use however many. And then after that, I would go farming because I had all the food just to, put my mana back up.
Nuking pigs in the forest.
Yeah, druids are the best. Oh, flight was broken when you had flight form because you could land. You don't have to dismount.
And just pick an herb,
and then just fly away before a mob gets you.
Yeah. Were you on a PvP server or PvE?
No, PvE. I don't like. I like PvP when I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
Not all the time.
Yeah, we used to.
Yeah.
I had a lot of friends that were on PvP servers. They're like, "Hey man, you got to come over here." And I'm like, "Nah, that's all right. I want to get corpse camped."
Yeah, it's not fun.
Yeah.
I can see how it could be fun for some people, but like you're playing a different game. I want to beat the raids.
Yeah.
I don't want to beat each other.
What do you remember the server you played on?
Cenarius.
Okay, I was on Oldham.
Yeah, Cenarius we were like 4-1 alliance. So
I think we were 2-1 alliance.
We definitely didn't get any server first.
Yeah,
anywhere on Horde.
Yeah, there was a time where we were right in line with our the counterpart from the alliance, but we never beat. We were like almost like neck and neck with them kind of thing, but we never beat them.
2 things happened on my server. Thought from Thoughtbot was there. He was on my server.
Nice.
You remember Thoughtbot before Wowhead?
Yeah.
And the famous Onyxia, more dots.
Oh yeah.
That happened on my server.
Nice.
Yeah. Weird.
That's one of that and like the Leroy Jenkins like my 2 favorites.
Yeah, but that one was fake. The Leroy one.
Was it?
Well, I mean, do you ever listen to it again? He's like, well, I think our chance for survival is 33 point. It's like there's nothing in the game that would give you any sort of.
But it was so timely. It was like it was
funny.
It was right during when everyone was progressing through that.
Yeah.
And it's like,
remember when Ubers was a raid?
Yeah.
ZF was a raid.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever get the purple sword from ZF where you combine the 2 blue ones? I never did on any character
because I was running my my hunter then.
I remember it was my hunter, and I was trying to get my tier 0 set, which took me for fucking ever. I got like 3 pieces at tier 1 or more before I got my tier 0 set. But I ran what was it? Not Strathelm, Skullomance. 26 straight times to get my boots. I think it was Skullomance that had the boots.
Yeah, that sounds right. Did you get your bow?
No.
You never got your bow?
No, I never did. Like, I even had people who had gotten it before try to help me, like, in person on my computer, and they couldn't do it. I don't know what happened, if I tried it too late and they, made it too hard or what.
The one I always had trouble with was the one...
In Slithis.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the guy. I did the rest of them.
Yeah. That was the hardest one for me. But I think it took me 3 or 4 tries, then I got it. But yeah, it was... Yeah, and then, of course, I trash it, right? It's like, whatever.
No!
Yeah.
Oh, no. You can't trash it. I was really bad at keeping old stuff because, like, I like that.
And then they brought back the transmog, and I'm like, oh, thanks.
And you can't do it again.
You can't go back and get it again because they took it off because it was you couldn't go back and get it at all.
Yeah,
they took that. Whole,
really?
They took into the quest line.
Oh, because
if you had it, you can keep it. But if you didn't have it, you couldn't go back through.
Because you could go back and get what is it? The priest one.
What was the priest? The priest had a special one too?
They had a staff that you could...
Oh, yeah.
They had one that was... And you can morph it. Mm-hmm. So it was a damage or healing. You can flip it back and forth. You ever go back and like look at the bonuses on gear that was awesome?
Oh, yeah. And then when the new stuff comes out, you're like,
yeah.
Oh, that's pretty weak.
Yeah. Like going from, tier whatever it was in BC to Wrath of the Lich King. Well, I mean, in 3 levels, all my purple gear's gone, and I'm wearing greens.
Yeah.
When BC came out, the day it came out, Guild Chat was just linking greens. Everyone was linking greens. It was crazy.
I remember when I was probably 2 or 3 expansions past. What was the one where you got to that one boss fight in? I think it was in BC where you fought. Everyone got legendaries.
Yeah. That was in the second tier 1 TK.
Yeah. So
that was a hard fight.
A long fight, crazy long fight. But so we go back. But you get those legendaries, right?
Those legendaries were sick.
You go crazy. Yeah. So then we went back and did it. 2 or 3 expansions past, and we're like, our regular gear's better than these things. And
dude, in Cataclysm, I really wanted a Thunder Fury. Mm-hmm. So on my warrior, I would go into MC and solo it. Mm-hmm. I would solo it. The whole thing.
Yeah.
By myself. Insane.
Yeah. I remember like when we were doing all of our raids, and I was the Death Knight. Mm-hmm. The Death Knights had crazy tank, buildings. They could just heal themselves all the time. And so I would just go through the entire, if I was helping out some of the guys leveling up, just go through and gather up the entire instance of all the stuff coming through, and then just like start nuking in one spot. And
Death and Decay.
Yeah.
They're all gone.
And just gone, yeah.
Yeah, I played on a private server for a while, and there was a lot of that happening. Oh, God. I'll tell you the name of it after the podcast, but it's Russian, so it's been around for a while. Mm-hmm. They're not shutting it down.
Nice.
It was a lot of fun. We went back to Wrath of the Lich King, me and a ex-coworker, and we started raiding again, and it was a lot of fun.
That's cool. Yeah, they have some where everyone's stuck at level 60 or level
private servers, right?
Yeah, well, they're not just private, but there's some through Blizzard that you can get now.
Classics,
yeah. And then everyone's capped at the original vanilla. And
I thought about going back to that, but I didn't follow up on it.
Yeah, just so much. It's time, right?
I don't have the time, and I don't. Since I've already done it, I just don't have the fortitude to do it all over again. I keep looking for it in other games. You want more?
Do you want to try the stout or an IPA? I think that you might like. I've never had the IPA before, so it might be horrible. But
either way, whatever you like. Yeah. Wow. So much fun. It hit right at the right time. I don't know if they should shut it down though. So what is this?
This I've never had before.
Okay.
I've heard good things about three magnets. They are out of the Olympia area.
All right.
And
it's called Galactus. Galaxy DDH India Pale Ale. What is Galaxy DDH?
Double dry hopped.
Okay. 6.3. Mm-hmm. It's got any weird things in the back. A lot of these new beers have like mission statements on their cans.
Yeah, well, yeah, they're
Which is, I don't mind it.
There's some of the can art is ridiculous.
Yeah, get right up in there.
Hold on. Whoa.
Whoa, there you go.
Excuse me. Oh, it smells
good?
It smells so good. It's got the good color. So
I didn't pour too much just in case I hated it.
These are pretty hard to hate. If it's what I think it is.
Okay. I have a hard time with bitter. That's why I don't drink coffee.
It shouldn't be super bitter. It should be more flavorful. So with when you add the hops, the time, how long it's in the boil has a huge...
Yeah, let's talk about brewing a little bit more. Go ahead.
Yeah.
So when you add it, so if you add it early, medium, late, whatever, what are the different flavors that come from that?
Well, you just get more bitter. So if you put in the hops at 60 minutes...
It's pretty smooth.
Yeah.
It's not too bitter.
No, it should be more flavorful.
I don't think it is flavorful. Smells good. I don't know if it's super flavorful, or maybe it's just because I had that sour right before it.
And sometimes the sours can be palate wreckers.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And that wasn't even... If you had like one of those, the guard sours, it really... You can't really taste anything else after that. So with the...
When I say it's not flavorful, though, I don't mean that. I don't mean that the flavor that exists is bad. Mm-hmm. I'm... For an IPA, I actually really like it. Mm-hmm. It's just not a strong flavor. It's got flavor. It's just not in your face, kick the door down, throw hops in your nose flavor.
Yeah, and the style that beers are going to now are not that anymore. So it's no longer these, 100 plus IBU hop bombs that we used to have, 3 or 4 years ago.
What's an IBU?
It's the bitterness scale. So you're like, if you have like a pills, you might be doing 10, 15, 20 IBU.
Yeah.
If you're more like a pale, like an average pale is like 30 to 50. Mm-hmm. And then IPAs are anything above that, right?
Okay.
And your tongue can't really taste anything past 100. But there's some IPAs out there have like theoretical IBUs of 250 or something. I mean, it's just crazy. But so when you add the hop to the boil, has a huge factor on the bitterness. So or maybe so if you add like an ounce at the 60-minute boil mark, you might get 20 or 25 IBU off of a 1 ounce addition, versus if you back that to 30 minutes, you might only get a 10 IBU boost from that same 1 ounce of hop.
Okay.
So the idea is, but you get more flavor. So it's not the bitterness, it's the flavor coming through more. And there's that handoff between how bitter do I want this beer to taste versus how much flavor do I want to come through from that hop. And you have different flavor profiles from hops. I mean, there's I don't even know how many hops there are now, but there's all kinds of flavors you can get from hops, like strawberries or papaya or stone fruit or all kinds of citrusy flavors. Like this one, it has Galaxy, and it has Citra, and it has Centennial. I think those are the 3 that are in this one. So
like people are going crazy with hops, like pot smokers are going with weed strains.
Exactly, yeah, exactly, and they're kissing cousins. I mean, it's the same family, but it's exactly. So they're crossbreeding these different hops with each other, and they get different flavor profiles by whatever the parents are, and then it takes years to get it to the.
So what you're saying is this is GMO.
Yes.
Genetically modified.
Yes. Yeah, it's but it's fun. So like these kinds of hops, where these kinds of beers, the majority of when they add the hops on this kind of a beer is at the tail end.
Okay.
So they're not trying to get the bitterness; they're trying to get just the flavor of whatever hop they're adding in there. So
the earlier you add it, the more bitter it is, and the later you add it, the more flavor it is.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's some, like, if you go to, there's a brewery in Portland that kind of is spearheaded this kind of the revolution in this area. It's called Great Notion.
Okay.
And they do all of my wheelhouse beers, where it's the flavorful IPAs, sours, and stouts. That's what they do there. But their IPAs, they have one of my favorite ones there is called Orange Creamsicle.
Okay.
and it tastes like a damn orange creamsicle.
That's hilarious.
And it's hops, and they have some adjuncts they add in there like lactose or whatever to give it the creaminess, but it's incredible. Like the flavors, or they have one called ripe, and it tastes like ripe, super ripe fruit.
Yeah.
And it's all from hops.
Yeah, I can see how you can tweak this just a little bit and get a...
Oh, for sure, yeah. And then I'm not sure when this was, if I can see when it was canned, but that's one thing that has a big impact on these beers is how fresh is the can.
Okay.
So if it's within a few weeks of when it was originally canned, then it's gonna have the most flavor. But if it goes past that, then the flavor comes off pretty quick.
Now, when you're buying your own beer, do you prefer can or bottle?
I like can.
Me too. Mm-hmm. It usually tastes crisper.
It's I don't know what it is about the can, but I love cans. So
yeah.
It's
like one of my favorite Suns Out summer beer is Bud Light Lime.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay because it's got that lime in it in a bottle.
Mm-hmm.
But when you crack it on a hot day in the summer in a can, it's like got this, like, it's cooling you down. It's crisp. And I feel like that about a lot of beers.
Yeah, there's something about a cold beer on a hot day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And especially if it's the kind of beer too. It's got to be light and crisp and
yeah. And I'm not too into light beers, quote unquote, like a Coors Light and a Bud Light Lime, or Bud Light. Not really, but like if it's like a Bud Light Lime, if it's a gimmick light beer, all right, I'm in. I'll try it. Usually they're pretty good. It's when you just do a straight light beer, it's like, oh, you took all the flavor out. So I could drink to get drunk, I guess, on this, but that's not why I'm drinking beer.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah. I feel you.
Dude, when I see adults, and I'm talking 30 and over, ordering Coors Lights, I don't know what they're doing with their lives. I'm not trying to shit on anyone, but I'm shitting on them. I'm not trying to, but like, what are you doing? What's going on?
Where did you make the wrong turn in your life?
I mean, are you saving calories? You're not doing that. It's beer. Even if it's light beer, it's beer.
Yeah.
I think I used to like Busch Light. Can't do it now. Bud Light, I think, is the only one. And
You're talking about like light beers?
As far as light beers goes, yeah. And I don't know why.
I haven't had a light beer forever.
No. We did a beer Olympics one year. And it was amazing. And there's a lot of planning going into it. And I think we were going to do Busch Light. We ended up doing regular Busch. Oh, man, we had to not cool them too much because you can't chug a cold beer. But we had 4 events. We had beer pong, which was... these were all 2-man teams. There was 4 2-man teams. There was beer pong. And so what happened is Team A and B did all 4 events. Winner moves on. In case of a tie, it was going to be some sort of chug. I don't remember. There was no ties. And then C and D. And then the winner, let's say A won and C won and did all 4 again. And then the losers did the loser bracket. So we did a beer pong team event. And then a solo event, spin, run, and chug.
Like from Revenge of the Nerds?
Like from anything, yeah. I didn't have...
Is it Revenge of the Nerds I'm thinking of? Where they spin around the baseball bat? No. That wasn't Revenge of the Nerds.
There's a lot of movies.
Okay.
There's a lot of movies. But that's the idea, yeah.
Okay.
So it was, I don't know, maybe 30 feet. And I was bigger than I am now. I was probably 250 pounds. And I didn't have a bat, so I had 2 putters. So we did it around putters. And I was going against a buddy of mine who was a big dude, like 350 plus. And so I spun around 5 times. And about my second or third spin, I saw him fall. And then I start running. I see him fall again. I get to my beer. I'm out of breath at this point because I'm trying to go so fast. And I'm super, not as big as him, but I'm big. And I'm like... And he gets over, and we're drinking 16-ounce beers.
Tall boys.
Yeah, dude, Bush. You get a
Bush
18-pack Bush Tall Boys for like $10, if that. So, and he gets over there. He fell twice, stumbles over the 16 ounces, goes, done in less than 3 seconds.
Did he shotgun it? Did he punch a hole inside of it and shotgun
No.
it?
We had him poured into glasses.
okay.
Poured into glasses. No, he just has no gag reflex. It just crushes me. Then we had the team chug, which is one person chugs, tags out. As soon as he sets it down, the other person can go. My team got crushed on that one. And then a game called Tablero. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
The goal of the game is to drink your opponent's beer. It's played on a 7x7 grid. Usually you take like a checkers chessboard and then tape off one square each way. And you roll dice and you move cups to make shapes. And if you make shapes, you drink, and then your opponent has to fill them up again. Shot glasses. And the more you make the things, the more they have to pour. Okay? That's the short version of it. God, that was fun.
That's funny. So I helped. Have you heard of a beer mile?
Is that where you run and drink?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, which brew was it?
How much do you drink?
Ghost Runner. So Ghost Runner did a beer mile a couple years ago.
I wish I could run a mile.
I didn't want to be a runner, but I knew it was going to be a shit show, but I wanted to come and watch it.
Yeah.
So I helped out with administering the race. So you do a lap. So it's a quarter-mile lap. And then you pound a bottle.
Okay. Yeah.
A 12-ounce bottle of beer. And then you do another lap, pound another bottle, do another lap, pound another bottle, do another lap. And it was amazing. I've never...
Did people fall down?
No. You're not drunk. But you're jogging with 48 ounces of beer sloshing around in your stomach. And so it's foaming up.
Oh, no.
And so people are harfing
just
everywhere. Like
foam.
Just foam. Just like shooting out their nose, their mouth. And there's like, women, dudes. I mean, it was everywhere. And then also, the time the brewery didn't make like a lager. It was all like IPAs or pales. I mean, heavy big beers.
We tried to play beer pong one night with a pale ale, and it's like never again.
No,
it's all foam.
Yeah, so it was amazing. I was dying laughing the entire time. Like people, like they were like, one of my buddies was in the race, and I was like, and you couldn't even control it. He's like, I'm gonna do it. Here he goes, and just foam coming out his mouth everywhere, and it was like they're like rabies or something.
That's hilarious.
But another thing that we did is I had some friends in Hood River, and their high school class gets together every year, and they do this tournament called the Lazy Turd, and so it's a combination of golf, bowling.
All right,
and poker.
I can do two of those things.
So, but it's always like early November in Hood River, so it's like 36 degrees
cold,
and rain, right? It's like horrible conditions. So they know it's going to be rough. So it's everyone's drinking beer, having a good time. So some of the holes
golfing in the rain.
You tee off with a baseball bat, or some of the holes you can choose only one or two clubs or whatever. You got to do the whole thing with that.
What club are you taking?
Just it's a random, right? You spin a dial, and that's
a club you get.
That's the club you get, yeah. And you got to do the whole.
Oh, you don't get to choose.
No.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Okay, if you had to choose, what's the club?
I'm a 5-iron guy.
5-iron.
Yeah, so that's the one I can hit consistently. So I do not trust my woods at all.
Yeah.
And I can get some distance on the 5 still, and I don't know.
I need to get more hybrids because I can't hit irons.
No.
Yeah. Anything above a 7, below, above.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I have a hybrid 3 and 4, so
okay.
So I'm all right.
Yeah, for some reason so my father-in-law is a big golf guy, and he's always talking to me about whatever I'm doing wrong. But apparently I de-loft my clubs. So when I hit a 5, it's like hitting a 3.
Oh, okay.
So I put my hands forward and I take that loft off that club, and so
I'm the opposite. I hit my shit high.
Oh yeah, no, mine are just deep, and I mean they're still like average height.
Did you play in high school?
No,
I did.
Yeah,
I did. I played all the manly sports. I played golf and tennis.
I just did soccer pretty much and skied. So that was it.
I couldn't run, so when I was in high school, I had a 6-pack. I was thin, I cheated on the presidential test and only did 3 laps and was still like 12 minutes. I could never run.
Yeah.
Never run. And I never practice, obviously. But like after a quarter mile, I got the side aches real bad.
Oh, yeah.
Just because I never did it.
Yeah, running is hard.
If you don't do it, yeah. Yeah.
Well, even it's like well, not just I'm not saying that's hard, but it's like hard on your body.
Oh
like,
yeah,
it's
for
like,
sure.
It's like abuse.
Yeah, you gotta if you're doing a lot, you gotta try to stay on the dirt.
Yeah, or you have like the most expensive shoes you can find that are cushioning your feet.
Well, that's part of it, but also that's also hurts you in the long run, right? So like, let's say for example, you're a fighter and you want to punch stuff, so you wrap your hands up and you get. But if you ever get in a real fight, like you have to pick your spots a lot better because your hands, you have to hit just right or you're gonna bust your hands up, right? Same thing with shoes and running that's why the Vibrams and those kind of shoes are gaining popularity because it's like, oh, this is how we're supposed to run. You don't have this big cushion below your feet. This is how and then your feet get stronger. So with running shoes, your feet get weaker. With
less cushion and more natural.
So it's probably better to run in shoes if you're running, a couple times a week and doing it, But if you're running all the time and you're worried about your foot strength, not for speed or any sort of competition, but like this is one more part of my body I want to feel better. Apparently, like the Vibrams will help you increase foot strength.
Remember there was that whole thing a couple of years ago with the shoes look like toes.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Those. Yeah, the Vibram. Yeah, there's a couple companies, but Vibram's one of them. But the problem is, though, is people who run a lot would put those on and just start running. It's like, oh no, you just took off a cast. Yeah.
Like, guys, I just broke my foot while I was running.
Yeah, or sprain it or whatever. Yeah, no, you gotta. But the people who end up using them a lot, they swear by them.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I don't run, so I don't have.
I've never tried them on before, but they look crazy. Like you see someone running, you're someone in them, you're like, what?
And really, all they're there for is to make sure you don't like step on a sharp rock. Like that's their. So it's like running barefooted.
Yeah.
Without getting splinters or whatever.
Did you ever know anybody that could just run barefoot on gravel?
My cousins when I grew up. Cousins when I grew up.
Yeah, it's like you have this hillbilly or group on a farm and just didn't care, right? And they just ran. Yeah. They ran everywhere.
Yeah.
And like now, like I used to be that way when I was a kid.
Were you? I never could.
And now like I walk across the gravel, I'm like, ow,
yeah.
Such a wuss.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I need to toughen my feet up again.
Do you? Maybe. Is that essential? I don't know. Did you grow up where your folks live? Okay. So I grew up part of my life down the street. So I had one grandma, my, I guess, grandparents. I only have grandmas now. The grandpas passed away. But my mom's lived right up on from Prairie. Down 10th, right by where the fire department is. And then my other grandma was just down the road from you on Blair Road. And so I spent a lot of time in that area.
Yeah.
That's why recently you posted a picture on Facebook and it's like of the river. It's like, oh, I know that river.
Yeah.
I walked up through there a couple times. Like I know that river as far as like, I know that color. I know the stuff around it. I know
how the trees kind of hang over the river.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that like brownish that the algae is in that area. Yeah. My grandma got this winter got a tree in her river area, and like
kind of like temporary dam kind of thing going on. Is like across the river?
No, it was going down, but it was huge.
Yeah.
And she was going to try to get rid of it, cut it up before the winter comes. I don't know.
Was it a cedar?
I don't know.
Yeah, my parents this last winter, when one of those windstorms went through, they had like when cedars grow, apparently like the insides get rotten.
Sure.
Like they just start kind of rotting from the inside out, and that's how they die eventually. And so they have a creek that kind of goes by their property and pours into the river there, and it came across, and it knocked out their power because they have the power comes down from the main county road or whatever. So they were out without power and phoned for like 4 or 5 days until it gets fixed. But anyways, it's funny how that you forget about that kind of stuff when you live in the city and everything's underground or whatever. If you're like a new subdivision, everything's hidden, or if you're just in the city, you don't have the issue.
I think about that all the time when I'm going past. There's several places in Vancouver where there's these neighborhoods, and there's just trees, but there's trees that are 200 feet tall. And it's like, oh, just one of those goes. Yeah. That's 3 houses.
Well, and also, like, when new neighborhoods go in, right, and if you've done any logging, then the trees, they grow as kind of like a unit. So the ones on the outside have the strong roots, and the ones in the interior, they're not used to getting that wind load. And so if you take off some of them where you're, let's put in this pretty new house right here, and
if you're going to take them off.
Those lead trees, and then you have those other ones left over.
I never thought about
boom,
that.
Boom, and it just fall over everywhere. Yeah. So you'll see, like, when those windstorms come through, they'll knock over 1 or 2 or 3 at the same time. They'll lean into each other and just drag them all down.
Yeah, I never thought about that. The outside ones used to catching all the wind. There's we have storms here, like, I don't know, every 3-4 years that get like 60, 80 mile an hour wind.
Sure, yeah.
And I remember one time we were living up. So you know where the natural gas. We lived down that road.
Up on Brown Road there.
Yeah, when I was in high school, that's where I lived. It's down that road. Could probably throw a javelin and hit your house. But yeah, we had 4 acres out there, and one of those storms came. 3 huge trees fell down. Luckily, we had some friends with the tractor, drug them out, and we had firewood for years.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I liked it out there.
Yeah, I would love to get back. That same experience, growing up on a farm, and it'd be so cool to give your kids, right? And have it.
Yeah.
Because that's one thing I try to, teach responsibility and that kind of stuff, and it's so hard when you don't have, you have a small little city lot or whatever. And you're like, okay, do the dishes, take care of clothes, and like, you have no real responsibility. Like, you don't have an animal that depends on you or whatever. And
I remember going out in the winter, having to break the ice for the cows.
Yep.
In the trough.
Yep.
But that was so when we were up there in high school, we didn't have any farm animals. But I grew up in Washougal, and like where like Gaz is. So up the hill from there, up above the water tower, we had like 5 acres up there, and we had cows and chickens. We lived up on Mount Norway for a while, cows and chickens. We only ever had cows and chickens and dogs, but yeah, you had to go feed them and take it. And I was pretty young, so I didn't have a lot of responsibility, but also, I would see my parents that you have a thing to do every day that's besides everything else.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so hard to.
But you can have chickens in the city, right?
I think you can. There's some limit of what you can
Probably,
have, though.
Yeah.
It's like you can have like
4.
No roosters.
Well, you don't want them anyway.
You do just want to piss off your neighbors.
Yeah, that's what they're good for.
Yeah.
Where I work, we're butted up against a residency on the backside, and they have got chickens, dude, every morning. I love it. I fucking love chickens.
Yeah, chickens are cool.
Little monsters.
I love those ones with the crazy feather, like the afro heads on them.
Yeah.
Oh, those are the coolest chickens. They got like the feet too, like big bushy feet too.
Yeah.
Coolest chickens.
Well, that's what you should get.
I should. I can't remember what they're called, like bannies or something.
Oh, I don't know.
So many weird chicken names.
At one point, and I live in a triplex. At one point, we had permission to put in a chicken coop here. I almost did, just for the fresh eggs. What's better than fresh chicken eggs? Like, they're so rich, especially if they're eating bugs. They're so rich and flavorful.
Yeah, it's nothing like you get in the store.
So good for you.
Yeah, the texture of the eggs are multicolored, not white.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, hey, they're not white.
Yeah.
It's not bleached. So it's cool.
Well, and they also, even if you go to the store and you get the brown ones, they'll pick out all the brown ones that are similar color and put them together.
Yeah, some that are green, some that are kind of like a
never had
blue.
Green. Never had green. They're just
like a light
brownish.
Yeah, I've had the greenish ones and the blue ones and brown, and never a white one from a farm chicken before.
I've gotten some pretty white ones.
Well, I guess
not like
bleached.
Not bleached.
Yeah.
But like pretty light. I don't know what it is they do that makes it change color, but
I'm always afraid I'm going to find like a partial baby.
That's why you don't have roosters.
Farm ones.
That's why you don't have roosters.
I'm always like, when I get from my mom, she'll give us eggs, and I'm always like, crack it open. I'm like,
yeah.
Is this my lottery ticket?
Yeah. Do they have roosters too?
I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't surprise me if she does.
My grandparents used to have roosters and chickens, and they would raise the chicks, and what they would do is probably cruel. It's probably not good, but my uncles, big family, would go out every so often have some bow hunting practice and kill all the roosters. You know, because as they're coming to maturity, you can tell which ones are which, and you can't have roosters around too many, because then all your eggs are, like you said, fertilized, and they're only good for meat. So they would take them out.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that happened once or twice. Usually my grandpa would go slaughter them, but I don't know. I never watched it. I can't watch it.
I have very vivid memories of my grandpa, taking the chickens and butchering the chickens. And I was probably, 5 or 6 years old, but I remember the chicken with the head cut off, right? And just going crazy. And I'll never forget that.
I never saw that.
Yeah. Just going bonkers, right?
Yeah.
And
the only thing I ever saw is, there was a gal I went to school with. You may have, I don't know. Anyway, she lived next door to my grandparents, and her dad came over, and they had ducks, but one of them broke its leg, backwards leg, and my grandpa's like, "There's nothing you can do for it." He's like, "Oh man," my grandpa's like, "You want me to kill it?" And he just went, snapped its neck right there, let it go on the ground, and it was flopping about. And it's like, oh, that sucks, because it was a pet duck.
Yeah,
they had pet ducks, and that's a bummer.
Friendly duck.
But its knee was backwards. I don't know what happened. I don't know if the dog got it or what, but yeah. I don't like, I wish I could hunt and eat my own food, but man, I
can't clean anything.
No.
I don't mind,
can you imagine field dressing something out there?
If I was like a sniper style and just like killing things from distance, and then someone else took care of it, I could do that.
I could probably, I could do that.
I could do that. But if it's something like I see what I just did, and I
by the way,
deal with it,
and I would have to be really good at shooting.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't imagine nicking it and just I'd feel so bad. I'd have to kill it. That wouldn't bother me. Field dressing it?
Like drone style. Like if you had like a drone and you're just numb in a video game, like, I'm going to shoot this thing with whatever. And then someone else on the ground takes care of it. And I'm like, that's my kind of hunting. I couldn't do that. So I appreciate it when I get like someone actually.
For some reason, I can do it with fish though. I'm okay with fish. I'll chop them right up.
I don't know.
Oh, dude, fresh trout.
I love eating it. Don't get me wrong, but the whole like cleaning part is like not for me.
I think for me, because their guts come out in just one unit, it's like this little pocket. Mm-hmm. It's not. I don't have to like cut off the shoulder and pack it out, and then cut off the,
Worry about a bear chasing you as you're leaving.
Oh God. Worry about a cougar. Cougars scare me. Cougars will hunt people.
Yeah. So crazy story. My parents told me about this when they were before they had kids. They loved to go hiking up Mount Adams, and so my mom and my dad are with my aunt and uncle, and they're doing some, packing. There's packing in their camping equipment, and there's high brush on each side of them, and they hear, something rustling around. It's been in the bushes for a period of time.
Yeah.
And so my dad and my aunts are ahead of my uncle and my mom. They're probably about 50 yards apart.
Okay.
And dad's got a rifle. And so he hears this thing going and whatever. It's back in there. He's like, whatever. I got a rifle. Mm-hmm. And so they get to some, fork in the trail, and they wait for my mom and my uncle to come up. Mm-hmm. And they come up, and my mom and my uncle are like, "What'd you think about that deer leg?" And my dad's like, "I didn't see any deer leg." So there was some cougar or something that was in the bush, and then my dad's like, "Well, I got my gun."
Yeah.
And so he opens it up, and he's like, "Oh hell!"
Oh no!
He never had any bullets. If my uncle had all the bullets.
Oh, that could have gone bad.
Yeah. But just that kind of crazy stuff that you hear these stories, and I mean, who knows? This could be a total lie. My parents like just trying to scare me when I was a kid or something, but.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
At my grandma's house, there was a deer on the other side of the river at the Little Bachelder for like a week. Mm-hmm. I mean, she never saw any predators get it, but I mean, cougars stash their stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it could have been coyotes.
No, I mean, they don't usually take out deer. I mean,
they can.
But unless it's maybe it was a sick deer or something. But
it depends on how hungry that was. And it didn't look super old either.
Yeah. Huh. Okay.
Coyotes don't scare me.
No.
I feel like I hear people talk about them and everyone's scared of coyotes. It's like, nah. Dude, you give me one Bowie knife and I'll take out a pack of coyotes.
The thing that drives me nuts about coyotes are their yelps, right? It's like
they're
it's
cutie
like
pies.
it's like blood curdling. Like,
I like 'em.
it drives me nuts. Like I hear them. We have a park.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's away from our neighborhood, but it's still close enough that you can hear them in the park going
I
crazy.
miss hearing them.
Oh man, they go like if you have the window open in the summertime, they're going bonkers over there.
They're cutie pies. I like them. One time I saw one in the middle of 164th. Young pup. I was like, oh, guy, get out of here. Get out the middle of the road. It was pretty sad. But when I was living out there, we had a very large German Shepherd, 135-pound German Shepherd, which is pretty big.
Beefy.
They didn't come around.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't want any of that mess.
Yeah, it's when I was a kid, we had a Malamute.
Oh, yeah.
And, about the same size as a German Shepherd.
Yeah. Big boy.
Yeah, nice, awesome dog. But I remember there was a pack of coyotes, and they were picking on him.
Oh, no.
And so he was a 3-legged dog, too.
Okay.
And so he was trying to protect the farm kind of thing. But there was like 4 of them, and then one would get his attention, and the other one would come from the side kind of thing. And I remember watching that and whatever, run over and like chase them off, whatever. But they were, it was like that pack mentality where they distract you from one side and come from the other side.
Yeah, and I think part of it is we didn't have anything that they can eat, so like there was no reason to come around and get beat up for no reason.
Yeah, they wanted the goats. We had a bunch of
goats.
We had tons of goats. Yeah.
Oh, they love goats. They love chickens.
Yeah,
they love chickens.
By chickens. Yeah. Yep.
So do raccoons, assholes.
Yeah.
I saw a family of raccoons today.
I love raccoons.
4 little guys. Yeah, they're fucking nasty though.
I want one as a pet so bad.
I used to know these people lived on the Big Washougal near the Sandy, and they had a family of raccoons that would come to their house and they'd feed them. But man, those guys would fight each other, something vicious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom, she has a family that comes to her back patio, and she's like, "Oh, aren't they so cute?"
They are cute.
They are. I want one. It's like my all time. If I was gonna have an exotic animal, if you can call it an exotic animal, but that would be my exotic. It would be a raccoon.
It's because he has hands.
Yeah,
real hands.
Well, yeah, they have like
monkey
little
cats.
Yeah. They're
so
trash
cute.
trash pandas, right?
Trash pandas.
And so my sister, every Christmas she likes to buy me some crazy hot sauce, right? Some ghost pepper or Carolina
Insane
Reaper
stuff.
or just something just off the charts.
Yeah.
And so she got me this one last year. That was, I've never had anything hotter in my entire life.
It topped it.
Liquid hot magma. It was incredible. So I've been drinking. We're getting ready for Christmas dinner, and I put a dab of it on a piece of bread. And
poor
tossed
little
it
guy.
out for the raccoon.
Did you see him eat it?
Yeah, it was. I feel so bad. Like my heart just after I did, I'm like, I feel so bad.
Yeah.
My heart just dropped. But he started like batting his mouth.
Oh no!
And then ran off. And I'm like,
because when you get that's legitimate poison. You're poisoning yourself for fun.
Yeah.
Not that drinking isn't.
And then I look over at my mom, and she was just like so disappointed. And
that is
immediately started apologizing. I'm like,
I've done that before.
Sorry.
It's like, this would be funny. Oh, that wasn't funny.
No, I just feel horrible. And then it was bad.
Poor little
guy. It was
guy.
really bad. Yeah.
Oh man, I've done that before. One time when we were real kid, like 8 years old, someone had a slingshot and we hit a bird. I was like, I'm gonna aim at that bird. Oh no, I hit that bird.
Yeah.
And it's not good. All right, we've been going for a while.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and end it here.
Cool.
If you had to go to one small brewery in the area, what's the one people should go to? Because for me, listening to you, 5440 is the one.
That's a really good one. If you want, my wheelhouse beers are flavorful IPAs.
Nope.
Awesome sours.
Yep.
Big stouts. Like
I'm torn on stouts.
You ever had
they're really hit and miss.
You ever had a stout taste like pancakes before?
I don't think I would like that.
That's so good.
Because I hate Guinness, but I've had plenty of stouts that I liked.
Okay.
Oatmeal stouts. Oh.
Yeah. So I would say Great Notion. It's a small. Well, you can call it.
Where's it at?
It's on Alberta.
Okay.
In North Portland. So. Shares the same wall with Pine State Biscuits.
Okay.
So right by
That's the one.
Salt Straw, but that one is
I found a bar down that way that I really like called Prost.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been there?
No, I haven't, but I've heard of it.
I mean, it's German themed, so it's German beers. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you the new age IPAs, they have a sour. It's called blueberry muffin.
All right.
And it smells like Costco blueberry muffin. Like, what? How the hell do you make this? This is ridiculous. And they have that double stack stout.
Yeah. That tastes like pancakes.
And they mix the two.
Oh, there you go, blueberry pancakes.
Holy cow, dude! It is off the charts.
That's amazing.
It's off the charts. So that's if you want to get like the best flavors, the best whatever cutting edge beers, that's where you go.
All right, that's it. What it is. Any last words?
No, have some beers.
All right, have some beers.